They opened with back-to-back wins over Denmark and Latvia, then lost in overtime to the Czechs. Lost their last round-robin game 7-4 to Canada. That crazy game where the first 4 shots went in. It was 3-3 in the first period. But then the overtime win against the United States, where they tied it up with 8 minutes to go, gave up a lead, and then won it in OT. And then the shootout loss to the Swedes in the semifinal yesterday. Vestorinen taps that back. Got it back up. By the captain, Aaron Kimaharju. Hemming moves in, banks that wide of the goal, and Verhoeff plays it back around. Cole Rushney. Back to Ethan McKenzie. And Keaton Verhoeff with it. Picking up his stick by Vananen. And Miettinen lays that back for his Everett Silvertips teammate, Vananen. Baudouin. Lead pass to Desnoyers. Now moved in by Rushney. Banks it back down to the finish zone as Baudouin goes after it. And Koivu moves out ahead. Atos Koivu is back in the finish lineup after being a healthy scratch in their last 2. And he was benched in the Canada game on the ice for 2 goals in his first 2 shifts. 2 goals against his first 2 shifts. And that skips by McKenzie and back out. Racing back is Verhoeff to pick it up. Keaton Verhoeff. Up for Luchenko. Luchenko moves in and shoots. Rippon in the save on that. Now, knocked down by Liam Greentree. Feeds it back for Verhoeff. And a quick shot. Scoot scores. In the opening period, a 2-2 tie between Canada and Finland. Verhoeff with it. That's knocked away and picked up by McKenzie. And McKenzie with a head of steam. Winds it across the line. He's brought down by Tuva. Held at the line by Rushney. Cole Rushney winds in. Gets it on Boilius. The centering pass bounced away from Baudouin. And Tuva has it back. Up ahead for Kuta. And chipped back down the Canadian zone as McKenzie goes back. Watched there by Westergaard. Verhoeff to the line, not out. And picked back up by Pikarinen. Point shot from Valala, kicked out by George. Here's Valala again. Plays that back in the corner. And Kuta collides there with Desnoyers. Verhoeff backhands that back around for McKenzie. It's a hard bump there for Pikarinen, but moves the puck into Coots. Kimaharju in across the line with Koivu, and Kimaharju shoots. Cutter George knocks that away. McKenna high flip to center ice, trying to find Luchenko, and Kimaharju knocked that away. Calto had it knocked off his stick. Bruning plays it back around to Verhoeff. Keaton Verhoeff for Luchenko to Coots. In comes Coots. Takes a hard hit there from the eminent. And now Hemming back the other way. The Dallas first rounder chips it in. And Verhoeff stays with him. Gathered back up by Coots. To Luchenko. That rink wide pass is picked off. Brought back in by Boilius. Boilius walks right in and shoots. And George makes the stop on that. Ethan McKenzie lifts it back down to the Finnish blue line. They got by Valila. In comes Hemming. Knocked down hard by Verhoeff. And McKenzie has it back. Keaton Verhoeff, 17-year-old freshman.
He's got 2 goals in 30 games. I always struggle with, would he be better served playing in a U20 league, even if it's in Finland, and having 14 goals in 30 games?
Right. Big kid, those 6'3", 205 pounds. These 2 countries are the next 2 hosts of the World Juniors as McKenna moves in. 3 assists for McKenna, and a quick shot there knocked away by Rimpinen. Canada will host in Edmonton and Red Deer next year. And the following year, the Finns will host in Tampere and Turku. Verhoeff trying to knock that loose. Comes back in the high slot. Boy, there's a chance that goes wide. And McKenzie back on it. McKenna jumping back. He falls. Saralainen. Winds through the offensive zone. Serolainen drops it off to Kivaharju. And Beaulieu couldn't hold that puck on the line. Shots 19-13 Canada, a 5-2 lead. Canada 3-2 all-time in bronze medal games. This is their first in 12 years. Beaulieu. Rink wide for Hemming. Emil Hemming moves back in. Hemming, the Barrie Colts star, had that knocked away. Get it back up by Desnoyers. Looks up for O'Reilly. It bounced into his feet. Now back at center ice is Parak.
And he looks for big hits. Almost squared up on McKenna.
Pecorino plays it back down to the Canadian zone. Verhoeff plays it around for Karls. This could be a defense pair for Canada in next year's tournament. And perhaps the year after, too, depending how their pro careers progress.
They've already played together for a couple of years at the U17, U18 events.
Good to have that taken away. O'Reilly was knocked down. Now here's Karls with it. Karls brings that back down to the Finnish zone. Rimpinen plays it back across to Jokinen. Pecorino. Across the line, holds up. Pins are changing. He drops it back to Valila. The centering pass for Serolainen knocked away, and back comes Hage along with McKenna. Michael Hage with Gavin McKenna. Hage gets a step.
Just his feet. Reshny's in alone. That was an all-or-nothing commitment by Beaulieu.
Valila. Up ahead to Tuva. That pass skipped away from him. And Verhoeff looks ahead, skips back to center ice. Once Verhoeff got in the lineup for Canada, Hotel Hunters left him in. And it's batted up by McKenna. Jokinen goes back with Hage on him. And Jokinen has to retreat. Hage staying on him. And now O'Reilly picks that free. Hage got knocked down in the corner. McKenzie with it. Plays it back down to O'Reilly. Hage makes his way to the Canadian bench.
A little shaken up on that collision. Fell awkwardly on his back or working things out.
Picked up by Misa. Plays it back across to Verhoeff. Looks down to McKenna. Gavin McKenna. Slides it across to McKenzie. Here's Verhoeff with a look. Verhoeff. Back to McKenna for Misa with a shot. Ripping and pad save. Rebound, and Verhoeff put that wide. Here's Verhoeff back with it. Lays it back down to O'Reilly. Takes the return pass. Verhoeff for McKenzie. Cues that back in the corner. Right to Misa. There's a second try for McKenzie. Back across to Verhoeff. Throws it back in front. The shot by Misa. Turned away by Rimpinen. Misa.
He says mouth. Finland gets away avoiding another Canadian power play.
Kuchenko comes leaping in. Tries to knock that loose. Canada 3-2 all-time in bronze medal games. Has lost its last two. They played in 3 straight. 2012 they won. Lost in 2013 and 2014. And Yemenen goes back to pick it up. Yemenen. That's knocked away by Verhoeff. And Yemenen slides that back. And Yemenen got. So that lottery will take place in a couple of weeks. And the fans who are drawn will be given the first opportunity to buy ticket packages for that tournament. In comes Martone. Centers in. O'Reilly with a chance. Looking for the hat trick. Turned away by Rimpinen. Edmonton gets another crack after they had to play the bubble in 2021. Then the 2022 tournament was postponed to the summer, and there were restrictions on attendance there as well. So all things going to plan. The tournament was played in a packed NHL building in a very passionate part of the country for the game of hockey. Verhoeff back for it, banks it back around for Iginla. Verhoeff Page is back. He gets knocked over hard by Pickering.
I don't think Verhoeff had touched the puck just yet. He's trying to catch up to it. Got bowled over.
Kuta plays that back around. And McKenna missed on that. Kivaharju with it. Kivaharju trying to drop that back. And Vestorina being watched there by McKenna. Pivots back in the corner on Verhoeff. And Verhoeff got a stick on that. Vestorina back on it. Feeds that back to Nieminen. Nieminen back for Kivaharju. Gets around McKenna. And Pickering back with it. Gordon Nieminen shoots. Bouncing puck goes wide. Here's Kivaharju with it. And the hemmed in here. And now McKenna to Martone and back out to center. Your teams.
Players deserve all the credit. It's all on them to try to find the will to compete. And they've done it. They've done a good job of it. And they're going to win the game, we think.
There's a starting pass by Hemming, and the rebound put wide by Miettinen.
But they're going to do it in the way they've done it all tournament long, with offense.
Lots of scoring. George makes a quick stop there as Verhoeff gathers it back up and knocked down by McKenna. Kept back alive by Beaulieu. Miettinen drops that back. Nieminen shoots, and George knocked that away. 2:45 to go in the third period. Beaulieu moves back in. Beaulieu pivots back on McKenna. And McKenna knocks that free. O'Reilly lifts it back out to center ice. Knocked away from Hayes. Hayes taking it hard by Nieminen.